This is the daily update for October 4th, 2025. Today, I definitely intended to do a lot more, and I'm mostly satisfied with the amount of work that I got done today. I do think that if I didn't procrastinate, which I did a little bit because I'm honestly really sleepy, I would have gotten more done. I think I woke up, I woke up multiple times. I did not get good sleep yesterday. I listened to some audio, Telegram audio from my mentor as a part of the current 30-day challenge / course that I'm in. And then I took some time to make note of several things. So I have been trying to wrap my head around 10 timesing my action. Like, I have a list now of what that looks like, but I was like, what exactly am I trying to accomplish every single day, right? And I decided that I was going to make a list of micro actions that are part of the 10 times action for like promoting my businesses and stuff. And that's what I made. And I really liked that micro actions list. I tried to make a non-micro one, but I found I was like, ooh, I don't really like this, because all these, except for reading manga and light novels, with the exception to that one, everything else just felt off to me. And I was like, I think this is more of a case of like a day by day, week by week basis. So I'll just like choose one and then move on from there. Then like I was updating business cards for my friend's daughter's stuff. I did a meditation that I started doing. I record the video that's also part of the class that I'm doing for me. Posted about my art commissions on DeviantArt. I think that was what I finished earlier in the day. And then later on in the day, after I was done procrastinating, I worked on... My intention was to work on planning stories and artwork, which for me meant like opening up a document and ideally either summarizing or like bullet pointed outlining some stories. And for artwork, it was doing a bunch of thumbnail sketches. So when it came to the stories, I was trying to plan them because I've been writing my stories at random, and they're a random assortment. Some of them are ones that I've had and have been wanting to do since middle school. They might have originated in middle school. I have some that originated in elementary school, and I have like this overarching storyline, and I know what stories are part of the earlier storyline. I also know stories that aren't necessarily directly impacted by... They are impacted by the main storyline, and the characters are like relevant to the main storyline, like they get involved with it, but like there's stories I want to tell with them that aren't necessarily like the main storyline. So for those ones, like, yeah, I'm like, there's all these different ones, and there's a lot of stories too that I intended to just like write a few short stories with like the characters. And one, I've realized most of my stories are novellas, and two, I realized that a lot of my characters I actually want to write much bigger stories, or like multiple stories. I guess you could say that they're kind of almost like watching like anime episodes but in like text form. And so for me, I was trying to start up a document to try and organize what I want to release, because that's the other thing too. With Turner Kelly's network, I don't know my approach to posting content, because I know that I really want to just like, I know that when I make stuff, I want to be able to toss it up, but I also think that some of my wider goals, being really intentional, is also really important. For me, I kind of have this mix of like, what exactly am I posting up first? And I believe the best action is for me to to take into consideration what relates to the main storyline and what's simply like world building. Because some of my world building stories I absolutely love, but the characters aren't involved with the main storyline. They might know like one of the characters that are involved with the main storyline, but like might not even have interactions with them beyond like something in passing. So I'm like, I probably would benefit from like looking at all these different ones and then shifting my prioritizing to the ones that are affected and are involved with the main storyline. Figure out if some of the ones that I might have originally considered to be world building are actually in fact part of the main storyline, or related to the main storyline, and then the rest of them are the world building ones, and like don't do the world building ones right now unless I genuinely want to, because sometimes I need a break from the thing that I'm writing. But I'm still working this out, because once I come up with this, I'll plot everything that I need to and just start writing. And then afterward I started working on some artwork and like not artwork but like the thumbnail sketches, and I was getting frustrated because I was like, ooh, I'm seeing a limitation in my skills. I know how to I have like a concept of how to up level it, and like I have a plan on how to approach it, but I haven't done it yet. And I'm like, this is something where I would like to be spending quality time on it, so I don't necessarily want to do it right now. And to me, it's kind of something that like, I was like, this is kind of a bit more appropriate to me once the Trader Kelly's Network platform is coded and ready to use. So I just did the best that I could. I did the best that I could. I mean, they're all like really simple doodle sketches. It's just like the compositions and stuff aren't as dynamic as I would like, and like some stuff makes references to backgrounds, which I'm not great at right now, which is okay. And then I just decided at the end there to go ahead and try to draw one of my characters who I haven't been able to draw, because the way that I would need to draw him and like several other characters to me have fallen out of my style range, making it's one of the things where I want to prioritize adjusting my character proportions as well as getting better at doing things like anatomy and clothing and stuff like that. I want to actually do an upgrade to my style. There's going to be like certain elements that are still there, but I know that there's like a really big, massive changes that I want to make, just because right now I think my style, I think that there's been some slight changes recently, unconsciously. So I was like, I think my stuff is looking a bit more mature. Maybe it's just because my just improvements I've made over time, but I'm like, my work isn't for children, so I want to make sure that my style also reflects that, and it doesn't currently do that, I don't think. Maybe part of correcting that is just like some of the details, including changing the proportions. I have some ideas of how I want to adjust a lot of my characters, but for one of the characters that I drew today, I knew for one of the characters that I drew today, the only character that I actually drew today, I knew that I wanted him to be 8 heads tall, right? I want him to be 8 heads tall, and I have attempted to do stuff like that before in the past. I've struggled with getting the character to look right proportionately to me, and it drives me nuts. I have several attempts of doing it, and for some reason stuff just doesn't look right to me. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. So I was like, okay, well, here's how I'm gonna draw the head, and here's the circle that I'm drawing for the head. And I was surprised that the circle that I drew, and then what I do is I draw it on a layer because I was doing this digitally, and then I just copy and paste the layer so that I have the accurate head size. You're supposed to technically like use a ruler, at least when you're doing it on paper, though I don't do that. I use tick marks on a separate piece of paper to get the correct measurements and stuff. But anyway, circle was actually like the circles. I was impressed because normally I have to like resize it, but no, I got the circle accurate enough so I didn't have to resize anything. Drew the body. I don't think I did the body perfect, but like I was like, this looks right. It doesn't look visually off to me, which made me very, very happy. And I drew the character, and I realized that I kind of was forgetting some stuff. I was like, I'm like, I must have doodled the character somewhere else with his actual hair, but and stuff. I don't know why I was blanking on his design. I drew him, and like he doesn't look like he's like 12. I was like, oh my gosh, I actually drew him with the 8 head proportions instead of my usual like 5. I was impressed with myself. I don't think it's perfect, but like I was like, he looks good. He looks good. The imperfections are more of like the way that I drew the boots. I'm like, there's so many studies for me to go do. It's fine though. It's fine. Yeah, so I did that. which is cool. And then at some point I submitted the business cards for my friend's daughter's stuff, so she can go pick those up. I did spend 15 minutes writing one of my stories. Now, I did not get to everything on my 10 times my 10 times action micro action list, and I really did want to do all of them, and my aim is to actually do every single one of them every single day. However, I'm not doing that today because it's already so late. It's already 5 a.m. and I'm already sleepy. I need more sleep, and so today I am not going to do that, but I can do that tomorrow, I think. I'll be honest, I look at my 10 times action micro action list and I'm like, that's it? Like, that's all I'm doing? I swear, like, I'll look at like my really big massive list, I'm like, oh, it does this. I was like, how am I doing all this, blah blah blah. And then like when I lay it out like the way I did with this like micro action list, I'm like, wait, that's it? That's like pretty easy. I think the only one that I feel a lot of resistance to right now is updating document, because I actually have another blog post that's currently sitting in drafts that I need to finish. I think it's just like because my brain's like, this one's a long one, and so I have to spend like 3 hours writing it, and I don't want to spend 3 hours writing it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so I get to do more stuff. That'll be fun. I intended to make this like a quick one, but this is just gonna have to go up as a regular video. This was my daily update. I will probably be writing a short write-up on document, even though I'm not done with the landing page stuff yet, and yeah, so I will talk to you later, trainees.